We're about to start another really quick installment here of Salt Air. Now, I'm really excited about what we're doing this time because we have been working around the clock, as you can see by our ragged hair and long beards. Well, long for me. On getting Salt SSH up and going. So Salt SSH is a system that allows you to execute Salt routines, Salt remote execution, and Salt states all over SSH without needing to ever install a minion on those target systems. Now, it's all over SSH. It's slower than Salt proper using ZeroMQ. It is not quite as featureful yet as Salt using ZeroMQ, but it is powerful. It is capable, and we're really excited to get this show on the road. So we're going to hop over here into a terminal and start showing some of the basics. Yeah, that one there. Excellent. Some of the basics of how Salt SSH works. And so we're going to start by just doing a quick test.ping, a good old test.ping. You'll see that this command looks a lot like a classic Salt command in that we're invoking Salt SSH instead of Salt. We've got a target there in the form of a glob, and then the function that we're going to run, in this case test.ping. Now this --max procs here is to say that we can spin up 100 concurrent SSH connections, that we're okay with that. The default is 25, so that it doesn't just blow away a small VM that you're executing from. But if you've got a little beefier hardware, you can easily bump that number up. Let's fire this sucker off here.
And we're doing this against 100 virtual machines that are out on Rackspace's cloud and DigitalOcean's cloud.
Yep, these are real VMs that are out there. So as you can see, that was substantially slower than Salt. Salt can usually communicate with these systems in about half a second, but it took about 3 seconds to do it all over Salt's new Salt SSH interface. But that was just a test.ping. The full Salt library of routines is still available. So we can do a network.interfaces and get all the network information about all of these systems. All that capability for Salt, see it just fly by at a ridiculous pace. The same, we could do a dist.usage and just gather whatever information we need. Excellent. Now, remote execution, of course, is just one part of what Salt is and how Salt works. And so obviously with Salt SSH we can also do full state runs. And so what we've prepared here is that we're going to set up a 100-node RIAC cluster, and we're going to see how quickly Salt SSH can pull that off. And so we're going to start here by setting up a head node. We're just running through this step by step. There's ways to define it more explicitly via state files, but of course this is Salt, so we can do everything one-off if we want. Okay, so it takes a second to compile the states, reach out, communicate with that system, make sure RIAC is installed. Excellent. There we go. So now we can hop over to this terminal. Let's we got to do this screen share hop, so you're going to see our faces again. Hi. All right, so now we're back over to this RIAC head node here that we just set up. We can see that it's only connected to itself. It's got one member. And so now we're going to hop back over to running these Salt SSH commands and run that RIAC routine against the remaining 99 systems there.
So we're going to do a glob on all the machines that match star EST star, which will be all 100 virtual machines. So here we go.
Okay, we fire away there. Now it takes a few moments again. It's initializing all of these SSH connections. There we go. They're starting to come back. Oh, that was the first one since it was already set up. But so give it a few more moments, and then the rest of our systems are going to just start popping up for us.
Now to be clear here, there is no Salt agent running on each of these minions. This is purely going from my laptop, reaching out individually to these 100 virtual machines through SSH and executing these commands.
There we go.
Now they're starting to come back.
Took a few moments there. They're piling in. It's hard to see the little flicker there as they pass by because we're setting these up the same way. There we go. All right, so it took 50 seconds, and we have deployed REAC and told them all to connect back into that head node. Let's hop back over. So you're going to see our ugly mugs again. And double check, make sure that all of those systems have actually connected. And there they are. Well, they're joining. Excellent. They've all been initialized. They're all coming online. Let's see how far along they've come here. But this is fantastic.
So they have all 100 nodes have connected in, and now it's going to take a little while for REAC to do its magic and do all the balancing and everything. But we have successfully connected in 100 virtual machines into one REAC cluster. If you remember, we looked at
this isn't actually too fast for REAC, is it? That's quite the challenge to make anything too fast for REAC.
Yeah, and if you remember, if we come back here and we look here, that took 50 seconds for that to happen.
And so that, again, that's over Salt SSH, so it is a lot slower than using Salt with 0MQ. All right. That's that. Welcome to the new Salt SSH. All of these formulas also that we're using are the same formulas that we would use if setting all of this up with Salt over 0MQ. No changes need to be made to the formulas that you're executing when using Salt SSH, which is also fantastic. It means that you can start out using Salt SSH, and you know that you'll be able to move over to a dedicated Salt install that's more featureful and functional when you need to scale beyond dealing with just a few hundred systems. All right, we're good to go.